I feel like we need to put round of applause in the building or something. Y'all don't know who you're looking at right now in that little box. That is the infamous. That is the infamous Maurice, the cameraman behind everything. The cameraman behind everything you see.
Yes, sir.
Behind everything you see in this trial that people are watching all over the world. People watching this thing all over the world. And he decided to come talk to y'all today, man, via me, the regular
Yes, sir.
podcast.
Yes, sir.
This is
My
amazing.
man.
It's amazing. I actually got to
Yes.
meet him in person. We've been following each other. He been giving me tips and pointers on cameras and stuff. He never mentioned one time, yo, I run the camera for the YSL trial you always talking. He never said it. I don't know why he didn't say it. He just never said nothing. So I just thought he was cool anyway. I didn't know he was there at all. I didn't even know he was following the trial. It was very crazy. So I was there. I heard him get into a little kerfuffle. And I just walked up to him. I said, yo, what you just said, the dude was crazy. Let me follow you on Twitter because you just said something crazy. He said his name. I'm like, I already follow you. And it was up
Yes.
from there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's been a pleasure, brother. I'm glad we finally made it here and able
Hmm.
to get online with you. It's been a long time coming, but I appreciate everybody's patience and I'm definitely excited to jump on here with you, brother.
Yeah. People don't know what it's like, what it goes into a job like what you have,
Mhm.
right? Every day you got to get there before everybody.
Yeah.
You got to stay
Yeah.
longer than everybody because you never know when they might just jump back in and start talking again.
Yeah. That's right.
Operating equipment, you got people hitting you on Twitter telling you, "Hey, why can't you do your job better?" You running some major equipment. I had to tell people one time when I came here, it's not a small operation over there. It's a lot of equipment up there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely it's something that you have to pay attention to, and thankfully, to be honest, man, I've had a lot of help, with local affiliates and also the infamous Sylvia. Sometimes, if I'm running late, they definitely hold me down, put the camera up, get everything set up until it's time to get it cracking. So, no, I definitely I appreciate everything that you're saying, man, and it definitely takes a village.
Yeah.
Definitely takes a village.
So before we don't even have to get too deep. First, we have to get into a little bit of your background. So can you please tell these people where you come from and how you even got into this whole thing of being in media?
Okay. So I'm from the south side of Chicago, the greatest city on earth. It's not to be debated. Uh, I got into television 2001. Well, technically before then, but professionally 2001. I actually got in through a mutual family friend. I was going to school for pre med. I grew up in honest science, honest math. I was watching the Cosby Show as a kid, and I wanted to be Dr. Huxtable. Let me say, clearly it's Dr. Huxtable, not Bill Cosby. And
Hmm.
it's no shame, it's the Cosby. But yeah, so I wanted to be like Dr. Huxtable, man. And so I was on that trajectory to being a doctor. And I came home one break and a family friend was like, "You wasting your talents." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I used to always like write as a hobby, but I never took it serious. And so she was like, people would kill to learn how you just write naturally. And so long story short, she told me, "I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll fly you out to New York and and I will, hire you as to be a writer's PA for the Essence Awards show in 2001." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I get a free trip. Let's do it." So I went out there to New York and I was a writer's PA for Oprah and also Bill Cosby.
Wow.
So it was like a full circle moment. And I remember just that experience changed my life. And man, I fell in love with the industry right then and there, man. I remember having a conversation with Gerald Levert and we was cracking jokes or whatever. And he was like, "Look, man, chase where your heart, your dreams is taking you." And then I came home and I told my parents like, hey, about that medical degree. I think I'm gonna switch over to entertainment. My father was like, man, you living a pipe dream.
Mm.
And I wasn't supportive. My mom, she was kind of indifferent, but she told me to live my dream. So now, 20 years, 20 plus years later, the name of my company is Pipe Dreams Deferred, and my tagline is Live Your Dreams, baby. So both my parents motivated me in their own way.
Fire. I've been see I didn't even know some of this stuff, and I've been saying you was a legend already. So you worked on the Essence Awards, right?
Yeah, man.
Did some work
Yeah.
with Oprah as a PA. You did some work
Yeah.
with. Did you work with Gerald Levert? Or you just got to meet him and talk to
I,
him?
I just got to meet him, but
Okay.
throughout my career, man, I've worked with Lil Rel.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Rel in Chicago. We had a little animated show that we used to write for. Then him and I was supposed to do a sketch comedy show, but then he got called out to Hollywood, so that didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started writing for Second City. If anybody's familiar with Second City, that's pretty much where a lot of Saturday Night Live actors go before they head out to audition for SNL.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I met my close friend Chris Red, who was on SNL for 3 seasons, and he left maybe 2 seasons ago, maybe a season ago.
Right.
And then I ended up moving to Atlanta 6 years ago, and I started working for Will Packer. I was a writer for one of his variety shows. And yeah, man, I ended up getting a job with Court TV, and that's how I got into the whole court atmosphere thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for 3.5 years, and then I left there and I started working for Bounce TV, and I did that for a year and a half. And then Bounce TV is selling, so they had a massive layoff last year. So I had a severance, and I was kind of just sitting at home. And my homegirl, who used to work at Court TV too, had hit me up and was like, "Hey, Long Crown was looking for some people to shoot," and I went. I shot maybe once or twice, and they loved the way I was shooting. So they was like, "Man, could we pay you to stay on?" And I told them as long as they could work on my schedule, because I'm also a writer, as I just said. So I've written on 2 shows that's coming out next in 2025 on All Black.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, One show I can't talk about, but the other one is a show with a Marion as an assassin. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Fire. Fire. So long crime. So you're not a contractor for long crime. You actually work for them.
No, no, I'm a
Oh,
contractor.
you're a
So
contractor. Okay.
they called me, and I'm contracted out just for this project.
Nice. So then, at what point did you get involved with the YSL trial? Was it from the as soon as they started filming, it was you the whole time?
No, no, no. I didn't start until January. I think they've been filming since November or before November last year. But I started January, and what they originally had was like a rotating shift of cameramen. Like one week, I think Core TV did it. Another week, another long crime person did it. And then another week with like local news affiliates. And local news affiliates, they just trying to get the shot. So they would like spend,
Mm-hmm.
quick and the camera, and they didn't really like that. So they was like, man, we love the way you shoot, and you take your time and get it shot and everything. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. We could do it. And to be honest, I was interested in this trial, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I really decided to do it as long as I did. And because it was working with my schedule, but it was really when I got in there, man, those guys reminded me of me and my homies growing up,
Mm-hmm.
just doing wild stuff. And to be honest, man, I can't say if one of my homies had millions of dollars and we had beef with somebody, we probably wouldn't have been doing the same dumb
Real
shit.
talk. Real
If,
talk.
if we're being honest, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Real
Like
talk.
16, 17 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I could put a hit on somebody like, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they did it. Let's be clear. I'm not saying they did that.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is that I can't imagine being in a position where I had so much power that things can uh, get a little aggressive in the street. So
for sure. KL is in the chat. They said, "Is this your longest project so far?" I guess
Trying-
contract work.
it's the longest trial. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the second longest trial, if you think about pre-trial and everything, will probably been I've covered the Derek Chauvin trial.
Oh,
So I was yeah. So the trials I covered with Court TV, the big trials, I covered the murder of Botham John, who family just won the I think it was
98
like
million.
98 million. I was there for that trial. I covered that trial. I covered the Ahmaud Arbery trial.
Wow.
I mean, the murder of
Right.
Ahmaud Arbery trial, Derek Chauvin's trial. I'm trying to think what other big trials. The Murdoch trials in South Carolina.
Oh, you did that too?
Yeah, man.
Hold on. So you just get into court 6 years ago, right? You said 6 years ago? And you
Yeah,
already covered some of the most watched trials because all the trials you named, I watched them. First of all, I
yeah.
watched the Murdoch documentary first, and you talking
Hmm.
about the dad, right? You covered the dad because
Yep,
so you covered that one, Amber Geiger in Texas,
yep.
which is Botham, who killed Botham Jean. You said
Hmm.
Derek Chauvin, who kicked off one of the craziest race protest riots in one of the craziest in American history with killing George Floyd. You
Yep.
talking about the YSL trial?
Hmm.
Like we talking about just all legendary. It's like, wow.
And the Rittenhouse trial. Let me not forget Kyle Rittenhouse.
You covered that too?
Hmm.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
man.
What?
Yeah.
In 6 years, you didn't did all these.
I covered them all, bro. I remember the craziest story of those trials with the Murdoch. We tried driving on their property, and man, they trailed us. They chased us off their property, bro. Like it's
Bro, you
crazy.
can't play
Like
around in South Carolina. They ain't playing.
yeah. So
They
yeah,
don't
man.
play. Wow. Hey, KL is in the. If y'all have questions, y'all let me know. KL said, and Hippie Easter asked, "Are you gonna start the trial on December 3rd? You gonna still be working after this one?"
No, this is my last trial, bro.
Okay.
I literally came out of retirement just for this trial. I really to, and it just touched my heart. Seeing them go through this touched my heart.
Mhm.
But no, it's time. I'm in the process of getting a agent. I'm in the process of preparing for these shows that are about to launch,
Mhm.
and in the process of writing two more projects. So I need to like kind of zero in on that,
Mhm.
and and then I got some other stuff in the works. So I also have like two shows I'm looking to pitch to Law and Crime. So we'll see what happens.
Going crazy because Law and Crime is lit.
Yeah,
As
man.
a YouTube channel, it's just they just go. And you know the craziest thing about it is the YSL stuff is not even their most popular stuff. That NBA young boy, when they, you know what I'm saying, I look, I'm like, dang, that's his top video was the top video on their channel was an NBA young boy video.
And salute to Law and Crime too, man, because they really Court TV don't really touch trials like this because it's too, as they consider, urban.
Mm-hmm.
So salute to Law and Crime for being able to step outside of the traditional norm of media and covering, white centered victims and being able to really bring light to this trial. So definitely salute to them.
Word life. KL said, "Do the trials affect you?"
Yes. The one that affected me the most is probably two of them. One was, and they both were in Florida. One was in Tallahassee, Florida, Florida versus Henry Segura. And that was a trial where you had this young man who was having an affair with his wife, on his wife, with another young lady who ended up getting murdered. And it was a guy who actually confessed to the murder. The first trial he had was a mistrial, but the second trial they found him guilty, even though somebody confessed to it.
Mm.
And I felt like that trial affected me the most because it really opened my eyes to the judicial system and how they can really point or paint a picture that necessary isn't the truth.
Right.
And they'll bend a story to fit their narrative just because it's an easier prosecution to make.
Mm.
And so yeah, that affected me. And emotionally, I would say that it was another trial, Florida versus Amato, which is actually a documentary on Paramount Plus if anybody is interested. And this guy fell in love with a cam girl and ended up killing his entire family over this girl who didn't even, she lived in, I think, Ukraine or something like that, and he never even seen her. And seeing his family's bodies, all laid out over that house just so he could try to be with someone who didn't love him, that was tough.
Dang,
That was tough.
that's cold.
And like I said, this trial affected me in that way that I mentioned earlier. It just reminded me of me and my homies, and yeah, and just seeing how the judicial system is really fashioning towards them. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. I don't want to get too deep into
Yeah.
that, but yeah,
No, this is the
yeah,
deep. This is the channel where you get deep. I'm gonna be real with you. They want to. The people want to hear it. You
yeah.
So how early do you have to get up to get to this courtroom every day that you got to work here?
Um, I tend to get up around. I got to be out the house by 7, so I normally get up at around 6.
Hmm.
Cause yeah, traffic in Atlanta is no joke.
Especially coming from up north. So all
Yeah.
right. So then, paint the picture of the overall day when you get to court. What's the first thing you do when you get up in this courtroom of this trial? You know.
Well, it's different now. When Jeffrey was there, it was very hectic. You went through one set of security, and as you know, then you go into the area, and you got to go through another set of security. They went through my bags, make sure, even though I just went through a metal detector,
Mhm.
they went through it again, and then I just go in, and the deputies let me know when it's time for me to go set up. And pretty much all the equipment is still there from the night before, so I just set up, text law and crime, make sure everything is set up on their end, that they're getting the feed, and then man, it's just from there just shooting and making sure that I'm getting the right coverage. For me, it's important that I don't really land the camera on the defendants all day. Their lives is, they're going through a trial. I don't want them to feel like every reaction that they make. And that was one of the things that I made sure, because before I got there, I realized the other cameramen, like, they kept it on Jeffrey
Mhm.
and little Jeff, and it was like, man, if he sneezed the wrong way, it was like headline news. So
Right.
I went and got my shot at him, establishing shot, and every now and then, if it was like a reaction, like a moment of levity, I would swing it that way because it's good to show both ends of the coin. So that was important. Yeah.
Ked just asked a question, and he said, "Ask him how you think the fellas did in trial." Y'all got to understand it. He can't really talk about the actual what's going on inside the trial until it's like over. Because right now,
Yeah.
he's like just supposed to be a neutral party and not really
Mhm.
give no public opinions on this stuff. Not yet. Give him a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He probably get into it at some point. But I do have
Nah.
another question, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you fed the streets. I'm gonna tell you fed the streets. All the content creators, the reason that we able to get thumbnails of every single person in the courtroom is because, first of all, at the beginning of the day, you know what you do. You go each one person at a time. It's like you're doing it for the content creators. I don't know. You do it. You go one person at a time, and you show each one. You get them close up. You get a little bit wider out, and we get the lawyer and them. Then you do that with every single defendant, and then you
Yeah.
hit back over to the judge, whether it was Glanville or Whitaker. We get
Mhm.
everybody that we're allowed to see on camera. We got
Mhm.
plenty of thumbnail action in all the
Yeah.
videos we've been doing. It's intentional, right?
Yeah, that's important. I mean, that's important because you want to make sure that you're not just uh, keeping the shot out wide. You want to make sure that you get that establishing shot of everybody, and that when you tell your story. Let's say one day the trial is focused on Lil Rod, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just can't focus on everybody else. I want to make sure I get everybody because I don't know what a trial, as you could tell, it'll go from one end to the other. So I want to make sure that we have enough coverage so
Mm-hmm.
that everybody can utilize what they can to tell the story. because it's important to tell the story. That's at the end of the day, I'm a storyteller. So whether that's visually or script writing or producing, that's the main goal.
Yeah, and it's perfect. You said you're a storyteller because getting to see because everybody was so focused on Young Thug right at first, and it was like that. But you didn't really hear people talk about the other guys unless they was like somebody that snitched or something like that. But
Right.
now, if you look at the YSL people who follow the trial universe, they talk about like literally every single person in granular details. Like, yo, did you see what Yak Gotti was wearing today? Did you see him make the heart? Did you see what? Did you see the emotion in Lil Rod's face when they gave him the plea deal and all? Like, they're talking about people who they never heard of before now in great detail, as if they've been following the trial because of this person now. So each, you definitely helped out with that. I mean, there's a lot of people who have some real following now. You talk all the way over to Miss Westmoreland. You talk
Hmm.
about, I mean, I done shouted her out too, even on the state side. Jasmine Knight right there.
Hmm.
Atkins is a star in his own little right. Abate just shut the court down when he said they're married, Your Honor. You know this whole thing. You didn't cut it all.
Yeah,
Fire.
man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I, I'm assuming you can't answer questions about Glanville, even though he's off the case, right?
No,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
Nope, no kid, nope, nothing inside the trial. So, how was that? How I was only in there one day. It was extremely cold to me, so I was almost couldn't even focus too much.
Hmm.
Was it? What was the tension like on like the more famous days, like when Woody came in there the first time, and it was like, how was it on days like that where it was very viral? Those days.
I mean, those days. You just never know with this trial. Like you don't know what you're gonna get, and it's just really about being prepared. However, when Woody did show up, it was a lot of people. Like I didn't know who Woody was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not from Atlanta, so all this is kind of new to me. But apparently, everybody knew who Woody was. So when he came, everybody and their mama was trying to get into that courtroom, and he definitely put on the show.
He
So
for sure put on a show. That was a month long show. He broke. No wait, that was June to like August.
yeah,
He
yeah, because
broke the
that's
trial
what.
in half.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely did.
So the day that I was there was actually the day Lil D came and his doctor was on the Zoom. That was literally the day I was in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yeah, that was an interesting day as well. I mean, it's you get the camera stuff, but I'm sure as you know, when you are there,
Mm-hmm.
you get to see the nuances and the reactions that you can't see
Mm-hmm.
necessarily on camera. Because it's especially when I only have one camera, um, and so it's a lot of stuff that I don't get, which the audience. I mean, not the audience. When the people in the courtroom, that's why they love to be there,
Mm-hmm.
because they want to see what I can't show when I have to take the camera to the seal, or the judge is on a break, and we can't have that camera running. So you know, uh, it's definitely a different vibe, but I definitely, for the most part, try to give the audience what it feels like to be within that courthouse.
For sure. And I came on here the day I went. I came and said I probably won't be going back in there because it's too much going on. You will pay attention. It's too much to see in there.
Yeah,
Like you don't
yeah,
realize how much other stuff is happening. Like just from the family sitting in there, that's a story in itself.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's just a lot going on. You gave us a story. You gave us a story that I talked about on here though. How was it with the media people, the other media people? I know you got into it with Mr. Dennis that one good time, with a very very good time. But you said you
Yeah.
talked about Miss Sylvia helping out sometimes. How was it in there with the other media people?
I mean, the thing is, this trial has been going on for an entire year, so most of us, we've established a great rapport amongst each other. Um, and being able to help one another. And Miss Sylvia and the Dennises, the new media people are very important to help tell the story as well, because you got to think about it. For us as journalists, like it's certain things that I can't talk about, that Miss Sylvia can talk about because she's more of an entertainment vlogger. She's not a journalist.
Hmm.
So, I think it's important to have both sides of it, of the coin. And that's why, we really establish those relationships. I mean, and it's a good vibe. Like when we go in the media room, like everybody for the most part is respectable towards each other. Um, we try to share resources when needed. Just even this past week, long crying, everybody was up in arms because our camera system went out.
Yeah.
And Miss Sylvia was gracious enough to allow us to use her feed for half a day, and we were able to get our camera back working. But if we didn't have that rapport, we didn't have that relationship, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So yeah, we all are like a family.
Fire. Shout out to Miss Sylvia. Make sure y'all show some love to Miss Sylvia. Sue just brought up in the chat. It seemed like Whitaker kind of liked you a little bit, like not liked you like had a crush, but it's like she took your word. If you said it, she was like, okay, it's all good. Maurice
I
said if
mean
it's
that
fine, it's fine.
that and that's going back to being a person of integrity, not getting into the messiness of the trial. Is about making sure I come in, I do my job with integrity, I try to respect everybody, and you build that rapport, you build that relationship. So I appreciate Judge Whitaker. She's definitely, I got nothing but love for Judge Whitaker.
Yeah. So how you feeling now that it's coming to we running into a close now? We probably get instructions, well, closing arguments, instructions, and
Hmm.
then the verdict next week, the week after this, right? How you feeling now?
Party,
It's
yeah, part of the week after.
yeah, after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah. I'm feeling good. I mean, me personally, I mean, it's such a hard. Me personally, I feel good, but
Hmm.
it's definitely not about me, and and that's the thing about it. I get to go home, and I get to come here and have my peace. Unfortunately, those attorneys, those families, the defendants, they don't. They
Right.
they had to live with this each and every day. This was a day off for me, so I relaxed. I played tennis. But um, Doug Weinstein, Max Sharp, they at home trying to do the best for their clients, and the prosecution is trying to do the best for their side of the story. And I'm sure the judge is, working as well. So I don't. For me, it's the end of a trial. For them, it's a life altering situation. And so my prayer is, God's will be done. And yeah, man. So it's on for me. It's just on to the next, the next stage of my life, and I'm excited for 2025, bro.
Palmer got a little jokey joke. I don't know if you're looking at the comments, but they said
uh,
Maurice checked his pockets every time Quay was in the courthouse because of his charges. Quay had some cold charges. There you go.
nah, nah. Quay was cool. Now, which Quay we talking
We talking
about?
about the Quay straight across from the camera, straight in front of the judge, like the one closest to the judge, with Mr.
Oh,
Matthews.
yeah, nah, man. Actually, all the guys, man, gave nothing but great energy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Attorney Matthews, both Matthews, and I have a great relationship. We actually plan on going to play pickleball once my schedule free up. Matthews Jr. just got married, man. So it's been and so Huey, was very always all of them show very respect. Quay Nichols, funny dude. If anybody watched the trial, you see every now and then he'd give me the middle finger, but it wasn't like disrespectful. That was like an inside joke. But you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, that all the guys were cool. I didn't have no. Listen, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. Like, not. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you I don't know people like them. So
Right. Did you
I'm
get a
good.
chance to just? Well, you just said you talked to Mr. Matthews. So did you have like at least small conversations with the other attorneys too?
Oh yeah. Brian Steele, great guy. Keith Adams, all of them are great people. I just talked to Misty Williams last week.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about meal prepping and everything. Like I said, when you spend that much time
Right.
with people and you're of good nature, you build a rapport, you build relationships, and these are definitely relationships I look to continue to establish and work out. Work.
Miss D. Williams did a good interview. Dang, what's the young lady's name that did their interview with her? Dang, I shouted it out on Twitter. AV? No, I can't think.
Okay, yeah,
AV,
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
She did a good interview with Miss D. Williams. Y'all go check that out if you get a chance, because Miss D. Williams has interesting. You got to be a smart, very, very intelligent person to do what she did. She was just working. She didn't like how her child was being treated, so she said, "You know what? I'm gonna go be a lawyer so I can properly defend my kid." And now
Yeah.
she's a defense lawyer, which is, you got to be smart to just switch careers and go be a lawyer. Like that's crazy.
Mhm. And she's a great person too. Great person. I know a lot of people had their words, but all the attorneys are great people, man, and they're just there to do their job. So yeah,
And they was talking about Miss D. Williams until she got in front of Miss Mariah. Then they like, okay, now we see the magic. Now we see the magic that this lady is bringing out here.
yeah.
So then it's a lot for me, and I'm just watching on YouTube or whatever. How you decompress? How you disconnect from this trial every day, and even now a year in almost, how you disconnect from it when you leave?
Um, I learned through my days of court TV, man. Is once I leave that courthouse, I don't take it home with me. I just, like I said, on those days, man, it will weigh on me so heavy. So like once I leave that courthouse, I don't talk about it with my family. Every now and then I have a conversation with my boys and I'm like, man, I give my thoughts and we'll talk about it that way. But that's it, man. I come home, I play tennis. On the weekends, I spend time with my kids when I can. I just, and I write, I find ways to escape, and also my faith, bro. I'm real heavy in my faith, and my prayer life, my meditation, and just finding that space to let things go. So yeah.
Fire, fire. Can you let the people know what you can tell us about the next projects you got coming up?
The next project that I could talk about, I have it's a show on All Black, which is AMC streaming network. It is a show, an action show with starring Amarion as an assassin for a secret society. It's called Wild Rose, and if you Google it, it's been a couple of articles on Variety or whatever that they talked about it. But yeah, man, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the other show that's coming out on All Black, but they haven't dropped a press release for that, so I can't really talk about that. But it's gonna be a whole show as well. And then outside of that, I have a movie that I'm writing with my writing partner. It's a rite of passage film about three black boys. I don't really want to go into details, but it's a comedy. I'm going back into my comedy bag, which I haven't in years, so I'm excited about that.
Fire, fire. Tell the people where they can find you from. We don't want to hold you up all night. Where can they find you at? If you want them to, if they don't, I
Yes,
mean,
on Twitter is MLD Filmmaker. On Instagram is Maurice L. Dortch. Yeah, those are the best places. Most of my content that I share is either on Instagram or Twitter.
all right, fire. Y'all make sure you'll go follow him on there. I've been shouting him
Yes.
out. Like I said, I didn't even know. I just thought he was just like a smart camera. He just knew about cameras. So I'm like, I got to stay in touch with any black man that's going willing to talk to me about cameras and tech stuff. I'm down
Yeah,
with
man.
that.
Good thing. I definitely check out your podcast, man.
I appreciate
And
it.
while I'm eating, I gotta eat my man. I just got in from tennis, so I got and do my protein shake, and then I'm definitely gonna take you out because I want to hear what you got to say about K Dot. I love the album
Oh
so
yeah,
far,
yeah,
man.
yeah, fire, fire. Oh, he got roots in Chicago too, so I know he vibe a little
Yeah.
bit with that soul of the Midwest.
Oh yeah, man. His pops. I think both his parents are
Yeah, they
from
both from Chicago.
yeah.
Yep.
So we, definitely got love. Everything don't come from Chicago. I don't know if people know that.
The
You know,
Midwest, I always say Chicago got the best comedians, period. If you just put the list together, it's easily Chicago.
yes, sir.
I
Yes,
argue,
sir.
I argue. I'm from the Midwest too. I'm from Ohio. We do the
Oh, nice.
R&B. We revolutionized our R&B sound. You know what I mean? Shout out to
Yes, sir.
us. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. Yes, sir.
And Chicago do their thing. Detroit do their thing. I just love the Midwest. I'm a big fan. 10 out of 10.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any more questions from the audience?
They ask us, are you gonna be on Vlad TV? He got a story to tell.
Nah, I'm not gonna be on flat. I'm good on that life.
Yeah. You too, right? Let me see. They saying stuff. Let me see. Can you ask Maurice if the second YSL trial will be filmed? Do you know? If you know,
I don't know. That's definitely if you follow Kathy on
no crime
what
page.
yeah,
Yeah.
and definitely she's good at communicating, so you all can head over there and ask her. But yeah, no, I don't know, and I don't know. I'm just gonna say
Shout out to
that.
Gary, Indiana, Rip Little folks. All right, man. We're gonna get at you later. I appreciate you for coming on with me, man. I done had a legend on the podcast. I love that.
Much blessings to you, bro. You take care, man,
All
and
right,
I
have a good
definitely.
evening, man.
All right, boss.